Vanuatu just made history by qualifying for their first ever OFC Nations Cup final. So a big congratulations to Vanuatu. What a win here. And they did it in absolute style, the hosts, by beating Fiji 2-1 in Port Vila. The scenes were beautiful. The crowd was lit and the football was mad fun. There was a lot of action in this game. And honestly, that was kind of expected. Fiji had a really good offense that they showed in Suva in their group stage matches, and Vanuatu beating the Solomon Islands and going up against a very tough New Zealand side in their group stage matches. This is always going to be a really fun match, and that is exactly what we got. It was Spokey Jack, the man of the match, who broke the deadlock in the 7th minute. A really good shot from a very narrow angle that got Vanuatu the early lead in this match. It was crazy though, because before that, Fiji started off the game very hot, immediately attacking Vanuatu, but we know Vanuatu have such a good dynamic offense. They ended up creating a lot of chances early on in this match after Fiji's hot start. Bonkalo missed a penalty, hitting the post. Even after the penalty, Bonkalu had several chances in the box, but ultimately wasn't clinical enough to finish them. But I'd say for the rest of the first half, Vanuatu dominated it. It was their classic flair style of midfield play, combining with Tasso Jeffrey, Godin Tenene, and then Spokey Jack on the other side. This was classic Vanuatu. And honestly, they should have gotten more goals before halftime. And what made this game so much more interesting was in this second half, Fiji did not go out without a fight. Immediately to start the second half, Nabil Beg takes it down the left-hand side, puts in a really good cross, and it's Roy Krishna who brings it down beautifully and sets up Kavuilagi perfectly, who bangs it home to make it 1-1. And honestly, for the rest of that second half, it looked like Fiji were going to get the go-ahead goal. But then Jason Thomas, off of a corner kick from Godin Tenene, puts it home and get Vanuatu the lead 2-1. The scenes were absolutely incredible. You can really tell the moment was huge, not just for the players, but for the fans themselves, knowing that Vanuatu were about to make history and get themselves to their first final in Vanuatu. I think that's what really makes this moment that much more special. Fiji gave everything they possibly could, and it was Nabil Beg in the 87th minute who had one last big opportunity for Fiji, but the goalkeeper for Vanuatu, James Yamar, stayed strong and got an excellent save that kept Vanuatu up 2-1, and then the match ends in that manner. For Vanuatu, this is huge. I think they fully deserve it. And it was in that preview that I said Vanuatu probably would win this game simply because they are much more dynamic in midfield. And their front three is just a bit more clinical than Fiji's. Fiji had a really good offense too in the group stage, but their biggest weakness was their defense. And I think that really showed today. Honestly, if Vanuatu were more clinical, they could have gotten 3 or 4 goals in this match. Fiji, I think, only really could muster 1, maybe 2. Vanuatu definitely deserved the win on the day against Fiji. So again, congratulations to Vanuatu. This is a really big win, and honestly, the most important victory in Vanuatu history. Now, the game that preceded it was New Zealand versus Tahiti. And, let's be honest, there's not much to report here. This was another New Zealand blowout as they beat Tahiti 5-0. The first half was a bit interesting, though. I'll be honest. New Zealand got on the board early. It was a Liberato Kakache free kick that stunned the post, but ultimately found its way to Ben Waine, who gave New Zealand the early lead. But after that, I actually thought Tahiti settled very well in this match. Their approach was interesting. They tried to employ a high press up in the midfield to try and make it difficult for New Zealand to pass around them. And honestly, I think it worked for a solid 30 minutes. It was a very good approach for Tahiti, but unfortunately, they could not hold on as in stoppage time, they conceded 2 more goals. And instead of ending 1-0 at the half, it was 3-0. And that was pretty much all she wrote for Tahiti in this game, as New Zealand just came out in the second half looking just as strong. Tahiti looked very tired. New Zealand ended up getting 2 more goals. Costa Barbarouses ended with 2 goals in this game. Ben Waine ended with 2 goals in this game. And New Zealand ended up rocking the Tahitians 5-0 on the day. The performance was pure class from New Zealand. So now the final is set for the 2024 OFC Nations Cup. It will be this weekend in Port Vila, Vanuatu, with the hosts hosting the mighty New Zealand. And honestly, I think that's kind of the story. I said in the preview for the semifinals that Vanuatu's final basically was this semifinal against Fiji. They did it. They got the victory. That was the most important thing for Vanuatu, because they have an impossible task against this New Zealand side. And I think the reality is New Zealand will probably blow out Vanuatu. We already saw this matchup 5-6 days ago when New Zealand beat Vanuatu 4-0 in the very same stadium. What's really interesting is Vanuatu is the second best team at this tournament. They're better than Tahiti, they're better than Fiji as they beat them today, and they're better than the Solomon Islands as well as they beat them in the group stage. Papua New Guinea didn't really show up to this tournament, and you can safely say that this Vanuatu side would be better than Samoa. So this is the right final from that perspective. Vanuatu are the next best team. What's crazy is the gap between Vanuatu and this New Zealand side. I didn't really think it'd be that stark of a gap, but it really is. I thought that this New Zealand B team would still be the favorites at this tournament, but not overwhelmingly so compared to the next best team. But it is crazy how contrasting the difference is in quality when you compare this New Zealand versus the next best side in Vanuatu. It really does suck, because I think no matter how good Vanuatu play in the final, they're going to lose by several goals. I think for Vanuatu to give themselves the best chance, they're going to have to approach this game defensively. I'm talking parking this bus. I think it's the only way that they're going to be able to have even a remote chance to beat New Zealand. The unfortunate thing for Vanuatu is it's not in their DNA to defend. They are at their best when they are fluid, when they are going forward, when they are moving the ball to the wings with flair. And then from there you have Bon Carlo, Taso Jeffrey, Godin Tenene, all combining in a very dynamic manner. That's Vanuatu. That's them at their best. But that same approach got them a 4-0 loss to New Zealand. So I think they're going to have to completely change it, go defensive, but it sucks because I don't know if they can change their DNA in a final. That's a lot to ask for this side. So all I can say is good luck to Vanuatu. Congratulations to making it this far in this tournament. This is huge. This is the best Vanuatu side ever, and they are the definitive next best team in the OFC, and that has never been true before. So again, this is such a big moment for Vanuatu. I hope that they can keep the final tight, but we will see. New Zealand is a scary prospect, and they play the finest football in the OFC region. So again, good luck to New Zealand, good luck to Vanuatu, and check back in with me after the final this Saturday.